Okay, we're going to talk about acceleration. It's happening right now. It's actually really getting boosted. Why is that? There's no such thing as time. Everything exists all at once as one thing. No, not separate things happening, just one thing happening. Let's not even go there. But I am going to talk to you today about the acceleration of we're calling them splits, but they're not really, because nothing is actually completely separate from something else. But there are definitely frequencies that are taking place in sort of a split of some kind that I will explain how that works. It's accelerating, but I want to explain what it is. Maybe you haven't heard this before. I'm going to explain what this is. This is going to make perfect sense. And if you focus on just this alone, you will transform your whole experience here. And you will go into purpose. Because you are here for a reason. You are not being punished, I promise you. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. You know, I don't really look at myself before I get on camera. I sort of smack stuff on. Do I have like lip liner? Who cares? Hey, guess what? We're going to talk about acceleration of frequency splits. What does that mean? When we say split, we speak as human beings that see things as individual and separate. So I'm going to use certain terms that really don't apply, but you can relate to. In other words, I'm going to use certain words to help you sort of envision what it is I'm trying to explain to you today. The acceleration of frequencies is happening right now. Acceleration, why is that? The more people, now think about this. Let's say this is density and this is high frequency enlightenment, awakening, and I'll explain exactly what that is in a minute. As the more people that go over here, right, that go over here to this side, to this side, to this side, well, scale, it's the opposite, but they go to this side, the frequencies shift more, right? So the more people that go over to another side, it goes to a different space. Well, technically it would do this, right? we're not going to do it that way. We're just going to say, you know, the percentages start to split. So in other words, the more people that wake up and realize they're going to let go of all the worry and the anxiety of what's going to happen to my money and this and the politics and I'm going to be online and by the way the Pleiadians and the reptilians, I'm like, look, can we just stop the madness? There's nothing you need to focus on except for one thing, your frequency. Now here's how it works and here's why it's accelerating. Because as things go to tipping points, there's a tipping point, I write about this in my book. The tipping point is, you know, it's like this, and the more people go to the other side of awakening and those percentages of frequency shift, it tips, right? Faster, faster, faster. All right, so what I want to share with you today is I want to explain how the frequencies work. Singularity, which is actually not one place because it's endless, but let's talk that way so we can get a handle on this so that we can function here as human beings with some sanity. So the lower you go, and we are one of the densest planets. If there's a denser planet, it blew itself up, and we're on the brink of that, but we're not going to do that. I feel very confident. And by the way, I did hear a couple other spiritual teachers that are very positive, that don't speak fear, who said that they believe the same thing. So that was really good. And you know me, I don't watch other stuff. I don't need to. What am I going to watch? I'm getting my own downloads, and so can you. So here we are. Low density, we agreed to come in here to experience it and to shift it. That's the game. Now, up here, we have singularity, oneness, love. But what is that between here and here? So here, when we go in, we're in density, we have major separation and illusion. That's what we call the matrix, which everybody believes it's like some punishment and we're stuck in a program. No, we chose it. We actually created it. It's not some thing. We created, everything is expansive and transforming and evolving. It's all expanding. So we created the matrix and we continue to change it with our frequency, our beliefs, our thoughts, our actions. So we're changing the game all the time. If we go higher, the game changes with us, okay? It gives us different challenges on a higher frequency, not as painful stuff, right? So here we're down here. This is all illusion, and the awakening is when we break through fear. We break through fear and we start to go into other dimensions. I'll call them dimensions, just realities, frequencies. And the higher you go in your frequency, the more the illusions fall off. In other words, awakening means an enlightenment. We're shining our light. You are just light. Everything is a veil, an illusion covering it, beliefs that limit you, that you self-imposed. And so the more you pull them off as you go up, the more you become light. You awaken. Awakening means I'm aware now that that was an illusion. That's what awakening means. Like when you come out of a dream, you're like, oh my gosh, that wasn't real. That's what we're doing. So you become more, let's just say, enlightened, awakened as you're going up in frequency, which means you have fewer illusions. Now you can die. You have a near-death experience. You can go into illusion in the, life over there, the near-death experience. The near-death experience is illusion also because you don't go in total enlightenment. You go into awakening on some level. You're aware now of that was illusion. But your frequency still remains. You don't just like, bing, I don't have to do any work now. My frequency just went up. No. You shed the illusion of this matrix. But the energy that you created through your experience and your choices here, they remain with you. That's the game. So when you transition into another form, you bring that energy, all those things that you didn't learn, that you still want to work on, all those things you did that were amazing, it all comes with you. It's part of your, let's just say, facade of appearing to be an individual as one. That's the one experiencing every possible thing it can be. And we are the illusion of that. We're actually an illusion, okay? So the higher you go, the fewer illusions there are. So even heaven can be an illusion because if you love gardening, your heaven would be a garden. It wouldn't be for somebody else. Still an illusion within that whole frequency realm, quantum field. Higher, you start to learn more, you go back, you come back, you go back and forth, you become a lighter being, and then maybe you go as a guardian. Guardians, they will experience and play in those fields with us, but they don't exist there. They're existing on a plane that is so fabulous, they don't need illusions anymore. They're just in total oneness and love. Does this make sense? The one, when we go in and we experience that unbelievable, it's beyond love. Love doesn't explain it. You get so filled with this amazing, overwhelming, oh my gosh, unconditional love. And that's singularity. That's what we experience when we actually go into those realms and we get to know what that is. And then we realize all the other things that we can do with our experiences, okay? And so you might come back as, something else on another planet or something that's not even on a planet. And so we get to just experience all these things. And so you keep raising your frequency and illusion starts to fall off. Because we don't need the lessons anymore. The more you win the games, and it really is a game, the more you will go into this absolute euphoric state and maybe start all over again. Maybe you, like I said, become a guardian that helps other people going through it. And so that gives you purpose because it's all about exploration. It's adventures. It's new, experiences that the one wants to know of what it can be, including the darkness. What is darkness? It knows light after being dark, right? You don't know how great the penthouse is unless you've been down in the basement and then, wow, it's really great up there, okay? So does this make sense? So I want you to know that all you have to focus on is not who's doing what and, blah, blah, blah. Charlie Brown, blah, blah. Talk to the hand. Such a pie hole. Spiritual butt kick, yes, once again. So what we want to do is say, what's my response in every moment? What frequency is that? Is it a loving one? Am I judging? Am I right, wrong, labeling? Let's drop the labels. Do you have to label everything? I'm spiritual. I'm awakened. I can't tell you how many people get on coaching calls with me. Hi, first of all, let me just say I'm awakened. I said, well, let's talk about what that is. Are you? Are you awakened? Well, there's different levels of that. It's never ending. And yes, you're probably awakened, but on what level? Because if you're still struggling with anything, you're really not in enlightenment. Enlightenment is when you peel off all the layers and it's gone. That ego is dissolved and you become the observer of everything, and it just has no effect on you anymore. You're in it, you experience it, you'll still have pain and sadness and all that other stuff, but it just has no effect on you. You don't entangle with it, you don't engage in it. And that's the ultimate place to be. So you will go through stuff here, but it just has no effect on you except for the experience of being human. And you understand it, and so you work with it. And you say, okay, what can I do in this situation? What can I do that's going to transform this into a higher frequency for others and myself? You got to take care of you. Put the mask on, man. You're going to go down that plane, pass out. You can't help anybody. So put that mask on and start to focus on all the things that you can do in this very split-second moment, because your entire future is being created right now, right now, right now. And that next moment was that, and that, and that. So we've got to be so right on it. I mean, be on your game, okay? What does that mean? I have to look at this in a way that raises my frequency, that doesn't put blame or poor little me or anxiety or I'll forgive you because you did something wrong. Enlightenment, that's when you go. Awakening will say I forgive. Enlightenment, for me, is a higher level. Enlightenment is you never did anything wrong in the first place. Thank you, teacher. We agreed to set this up. So there's nothing to forgive. You made a choice. I'm not going to judge it. Did it hurt me? Sure, owie. Well, what am I going to do with that? Now I get a choice of how I respond to that. So how can you, what do I need to forgive? It's all perfect design for us to play out these very challenging roles. Some of you are in great challenges right now. And I'm going to tell you something. Beautiful doors are opening for you. Beautiful, beautiful, amazing doors. Get ready for it. And a lot of people are going to be on that scale going, ooh, scared, because they're so into density and separation that they're believing the material world and they don't believe that they have power over it. So it's not that things won't happen. It's that you see it differently. These people are saying, oh, these systems are dissolving. Those institutions and groups are dissolving. And it's shifting. Why? Because I'm not participating in it anymore. Over here, they're the problem. What about the abused children? Abused children? What about the whole planet? I mean, look, hello, McFly. What do we want to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Are you taking an action to take a look at where that abuse is coming from? Because abusers have been abused. They're coming from a place of low density, no love, fear, anger. They're the ones we need to work on, because when they go into love and we give them other options, and that's not an easy task. I'm not saying it is. It's a big one, but we have to work on it if we want to change this planet. They will no longer abuse. They will go into consciousness and they'll realize I can't do this to somebody else. It was done to me. But when they're in density, they're just striking out. So how do we help that? Most people in density, they judge it. They're wrong. They're the problem. The government, they're wrong. They're a problem. They're in density. They're in fear. They're grabbing for power. They'll do anything to anybody else to hang on to it and protect their own little groups. Major, major separation. The repercussions of that go to them, not you. What they do to others is temporary. My response doesn't have to be anger and fear and blame. I can say, so what? So if they do it, so what? I've got options and I'll take them. I'll find out what they are when I get to that space. My money, my portfolio, my job, whatever, let's take it a step at a time. And some of it's scary. I'm not going to say it's not. Because it doesn't feel good to be in a world where you're just constantly trying to make things work. Let it go. Let it go and say, what's a solution here? What's a higher solution? Who can I call? Is there somebody I can call out there and offer something? Maybe I'll say, hey, can I work for you? You know, can I clean your house and get some money to pay my bills? Not, you know, fix me. Or win the lottery. And I see that all the time, and I get it. I get it. It would be nice, wouldn't it? But I've never seen one person that was happy. And I'm going to tell you something. All of them have been in a worse place because it didn't solve anything, because they didn't change their mindset. If an enlightened person gets money, Eckhart Tolle did. He was absolutely broken. He needed $2,000. He went and played the lottery and got $2,000. Why? Because he didn't need it. It didn't make him happy. It was just something that he desired at the time to pay his bills, right? So needed it, I guess. But he didn't need it from a material standpoint, like, I need this to make me happy. It was like, okay, I'm going to place this out there. And it showed up. He was always taken care of, but he, if he didn't win the lottery, he wasn't going to go in a state of anxiety. It didn't happen. So that's how it works. He didn't want it to solve problems for him that he thought were problems. He's just living in a material world. He got the money, paid his rent and his bills, and it worked. But it wasn't to make him happy. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just a material world that we have things we have to take care of. We have bills. We have to eat. We have to do certain things. So if we go into community and we're finding the solutions, putting ourselves out there in a high frequency instead of anxiety and desperation and, harm to others to get, hoarding and all that stuff, that will backfire on you. I'm not saying you shouldn't have supplies, extra supplies. We have to do that here. I keep a full tank of gas here in Florida, because we never know what's coming in tomorrow. We might have to get out of here. That's just preparation for a material world that makes sense. It's not taking away from somebody else by doing that. All right, when you start to go into that space, then you're going to low frequency, and you know where that is. You know where that separation starts to happen. Okay, so you ready for that? So I want you to think of everything as a frequency. If you want to do this exercise with me, just think of everything as a frequency. Is that a high or low one? And right here. Right in here if it feels good. The chatter, just shut it down. It will tell you stuff that was probably your ego talking. And just talk to the hand. Watch it float by. I might bring my little doggy out, Hacker T-Dog. Remember, I used to have Hacker T, my puppet. He's just trying to protect me. He's a cute little ego. He's just, he's going to protect me from everybody and everything. That's all it's doing. It is the low density energy that protects us in a material world. But that's not who you are. And so awakening takes charge now, and the ego takes a back seat. And it operates in a positive way. In other words, it's going to protect you from, doing stupid stuff like, jumping out of planes when the parachute doesn't open. I had a friend have that happen. And everything's a decision on your part. You can't make a mistake. You're indestructible. You are forever. And so what you want to do is go out of illusion. Go out of illusion, recognize it, and play the game. Play it well, my friend. So I hope that you'll subscribe. I got more really empowering stuff coming for you. As of today, the book is in print. I will announce that. It's called Breakthrough Fear. I go into this stuff in detail, and you might have to read some paragraphs or chapters a few times. And I want to take you into that space where all things are possible. And when you go into it, you could, by reading this book alone, I do it in teachings, I do it in coaching, have miracles happen. We have it all the time. It is commonplace. In my courses, in my coaching, people will say, you won't believe what happened. I said, yes, I will. Because when you let go of the veils, you have access to everything. You are unlimited. Somebody said, I'll pray for you. You said we could walk through walls. I said, well, okay, so can we walk on water? Well, yeah, Christ did. Oh, well, then I guess we can walk through walls. Can you feed a couple hundred people with one loaf of bread, one little thing of wine? Oh, well, no, well, Christ did. And he said, ye are all gods. Hello, let's take that in. Take it in. He came here to demonstrate that. He wasn't just here to putz around and have a picnic, right? He came here to demonstrate that he could go through the worst of it. And if he could, we can too. And he was the demonstration. He went through the same stuff we did. Some nasty, nasty stuff, right? You can handle it. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. These are free. I got a whole new email list coming out of all kinds of really cool stuff I'm going to be doing. I hope you'll subscribe. Please subscribe because it supports positive channels. If you're off watching The Conspiracy, every time you watch one video, you tell YouTube that that's what you like. And those scales start to tip. And channels like mine, they don't get the attention and they don't recommend me because you're overlooking at conspiracies or what the reptilians are doing. Hey, listen, I will watch the video because I don't watch any of that stuff. You know what I think about it. That's my opinion. I'll watch your video the day somebody gets a reptilian on camera with them. By the way, they're not bad either. And they should be afraid of us. We're the destructive ones. We kill each other. Yeah? So let's not go there. I love you. You're unconditionally loved. You are unlimited. Just break through the fear. Watch it like a cloud. Recognize it. It's the human experience. Don't fight it. And you will go into peace and you'll say, okay, I don't like how I feel right now, but I'm actually in a space of peace. You want to go there with me? This isn't easy, my friend, but we have a job to do. I love you unconditionally. Namaste.